Let's begin by setting sail on a trip back to 1937, where we might decide to buy a new car with all the modern conveniences that 1937 automakers could provide.
The 1937 Plymouth, ladies and gentlemen, and there it is, sailing along to new records for appearance, economy, safety, and performance. Sailing along the highways of the nation, the greatest value in all Plymouth history. And what a history of value giving, of sensational success, year after year, Plymouth has had. Plymouth is the only car that built 1 million units in the first 6 years of its existence. Then, in a little more than 2 years, the second million mark was achieved. And this year's automobile is a creation of such beauty that Plymouth stands out in any company. Look at it from any angle, and it's impressive. See how the lines of the massive fenders are joined with the swelling curves of the smoothly rounded radiator shell. Body lines flow along the sleek hood with its modernistic louvers over the solid one-piece steel top, and then down the handsome built-in trunk. The rear end is harmoniously balanced with those twin tail lights and a centered license bracket with a light below it. Plenty of room there, and it's all usable room, too, for the gasoline filler pipe has been removed from the trunk. It's bigger than the ordinary low-priced car in every way. Inches wider from door to door this year, which means a wider windshield for safety. 3 persons sit comfortably in the front seat with ample shoulder room. The rear seat is more than 4 feet wide. No crowding in this commodious car. Of course, the new Plymouth still has chair height seats that permit a normal sitting position. More leg room than ever before because the expensive new hypoid rear axle makes possible a low floor without any hump to accommodate the propeller shaft. 2 big rear windows this year and a convenient reading lamp between them, one of many thoughtful details of design. It's a great big package of value, this 1937 Plymouth. And beneath the beauty is steel for safety. Plymouth has had a steel body for 7 years. Steel pillars, steel panels, and steel floor, sturdily braced and reinforced throughout with still more steel. The bodybuilders were thinking of your comfort, too, so they provided a wide, deep drip molding that carries off the rain. For your protection, the new Plymouth introduces safety styling. Door handles have been redesigned, curving inward, so they won't catch your clothing. The instrument panel combines luxury with safety styling. All knobs and controls of the new Plymouth are recessed, including the ignition key. Nothing protrudes. See how cleverly the windshield control has been folded away. Now, this seat back is padded to soften the bump in case of a quick stop. Note, too, that safety styling makes this armrest of soft sponge rubber. Plymouth gives you complete ventilation. Not only does the windshield open, but also there is a screened ventilator in the cowl. Ventilating wings are operated with a simple lever, and when the rear half of Plymouth's ventilating window is lowered, there is no metal bar to obstruct the view or to get in the way when giving hand signals. Rear quarter windows are hinged, so they swing outward on friction pivots. Here again, a protruding crank has been eliminated. Your Plymouth windshield will not be obscured by snow or clouded by steam. Through vents in the bottom of the windshield frame, warm air from a connection with the heater can be directed over the glass. And Plymouth was the first of the low-priced cars to have hydraulic brakes. Every Plymouth ever built has had them, which means every Plymouth comes to a quick, smooth stop. You go sailing along in a Plymouth completely at ease and confident of the security of hydraulic brakes. Plymouth leads the field in steel body and hydraulic brakes, and the superiority of its engine is just as outstanding. Super high compression means economy, means Plymouth owners enthusiastically report as high as 24 miles to the gallon of gasoline. But don't imagine that Plymouth's amazing economy has been obtained at any sacrifice in performance, and certainly none in luxury. In the low-price field, there simply isn't another ride like Plymouth's. No other low-priced car has achieved balanced weight and balanced springing that contributes so much to the even, smooth ride with front-end bounce eliminated. Wheel fight is eliminated, for the wheels keep straight ahead whether you drive in gravel, heavy dust, or snow. Altogether, Plymouth's shockless steering means new steering ease, where the going is rough and particularly in city parking. The 1937 Plymouth is the most beautiful car. The 1937 Plymouth is the biggest value in all Plymouth history. Get behind the wheel of that automobile. Go sailing along in the new Plymouth. Discover for yourself why the motorists of America agree that Plymouth builds great cars.
Can you imagine a car today with a windshield that opens? Well, now that we have a new car, we might as well have the latest fashions to wear when going out. Here is what Harpers Bazaar thought we should be all wearing in 1971.
Mr. Trainer, president and owner of Teal Trainer Incorporated.
Without question. The dress has been always our most popular item, has been for the last 10 years and continues to be that way. They've developed the synthetic so well that with the new synthetic yarns that they've done, why they do not crease, they travel well, they're light, and women are very concerned about these things. The sweater look very important. Now the sweater look we do more of in the boutique operation. Fall is going to be definitely a return to more simple, more elegant, less contrived clothes. No gimmicks, no tricks. I think women are tired of that.
Casper, when I gave you the questionnaire, you were talking about wider shoulders.
There's no question that wider shoulders look more right. I think we're in a very transitory period of fashion in the sense that there are many things that are going on. I think what we're really talking about in the sense of lapels, shoulders, and so forth, is there has to be a richness to the clothes. There has to be something about it in the proportion and the eye appeal.
Mr. Bill Blass.
Well, I'm trying at the moment, Gina, to keep Blass sports separate from my Blass Limited regular collection, and yet the influence does penetrate through both. Certainly wider shoulders, lapels, more prominent, double-breasted look, but always very narrow and slim to the body. I think that there is a definite need to really and truly cater to her way of life and how she wants to look. She certainly still wants to look pretty, Gina.
I'm talking to Nat and Irving Bader, who own Originala, Junala, Janori, and other companies.
We have never made any gimmicky clothes. We don't believe in fads.
And I think that the women who haven't bought coats in the last season are ready to buy a winter coat now, regardless of price. The woman that can't afford an Originala will buy a copy of an Originala.
I'm talking to Mr. Jeffrey Bean. Do you believe in the cardigan?
Well, it's taking classic looks and giving them oriental twist, either in some sort of ornament or decoration.
What color are you going to use this for?
This red, which I always love.
Is there something that you'd like to say about your next collection?
All in all, I'm anticipating a sort of a fun collection.
What's sold most, for instance, of Halston International?
I think probably the sweaters. It was a very difficult thing to find a very good, well-fitted sweater in a nice color, and we sold that throughout the country very well.
Miss Anne Klein of Anne Klein and Company, one of the originators and certainly one of the most successful designers of the separate look in 1971.
We were selling a look, and we were selling to a customer who really wanted that look. And this is what we have found. In insisting that stores buy it the correct way or not buy it at all, we've made it a classic viewpoint to a classically oriented woman, a woman who does not want her clothes to wear her, but in fact wants her clothes to work for her.
Mr. Gunther Oppenheim, president of Modilia Incorporated.
That the length has a lot to do with the proportions. Now, the important thing is that build each item, whether it's a costume or a coat or whatever length it is, that each customer should stand in front of the mirror and decide, oh, gee, this is fabulous. The proportions on this outfit are right for me. That's what I should buy because it suits me best.
Carol Horn, Benson and Partners. I think the whole news reform really is more in the proportion of the shoulders. I think sweaters, in a way, are more important to me. I don't feel that strongly at the moment about shirts. I will have them. People should, for a change, take advantage of the opportunity that fashion now affords us to wear whatever we want. Mr. Shannon Rogers, partner and designer for Jerry Silverman.
I do like the wide look. It's certainly most flattering to most women.
I think that the dress is going to come in this season very strongly.
We know that already. I mean, the last 2 months, business has proven it.
And that's the end of the film. Interesting to see, though, what we wore, or the designers back then wanted us to wear. Now that we have new clothes and a car, we must have a date. But how do you know if you're really in love? This 1957 classroom gem attempted to explain.
What's up? Oh, Liz, you'll never guess. I got engaged to Joe. We're going to be married at the end of the semester, right after Joe graduates.
What? You've only been going steady with him for a couple of months.
Exactly 3 months and 3 days.
But Peg, Are you going to drop out of college before you graduate? I mean, you've only got another year to go.
Oh, Liz, everyone isn't as slow as you and Andy. I want to get married in June. Joe's been told he has a good chance of getting a job on a pro football team this summer. He's sure we'll make out.
Are you going to phone your mom and dad about getting engaged?
I'm scared stiff of what Mother will say. She'll raise the roof. I think I'll send a telegram instead. You and Andy seem so
old-fashioned, I suppose you mean.
Well, you've been going together for a year and a half. Last month you finally became engaged.
Are you sure you'll always be in love like you are now?
What do you mean? Liz, how can you say such a thing?
Oh, wait a minute, Peg. Please don't get upset. All I mean is, are you sure you see eye to eye about things like, well, like money and children? Or even what's right and what's wrong? How do you get along with each other's families? Suppose your parents won't approve. You have to think about these things, Peg.
As far as I'm concerned, you don't have to think if you found the right man.
You better go and send that telegram.
Hey, look. The lovebirds have arrived. Nothing like advertising.
They got engaged last night. Peggy says they're getting married right after commencement.
Boy, Peggy thinks it's all hand-holding and gazing into each other's eyes. I guess we were like that once, too. Those first dates were exciting. The more I got to know you, the more I liked what I knew. Though I suppose I was really intrigued by the things I didn't know about you. We seemed to have lots in common, didn't we? There were so many things we could do together.
You really enjoy a good argument, don't you? I haven't forgotten the time the Dean's rule on drinking came out.
And that was the day I found out we could argue like anything and somehow love each other more. Well, we didn't settle the issue, but it sure was fun trying. I guess we became most convinced about each other.
We must have. Up until a month ago, that finger looked kind of bare.
Oh, Joe, I'm so mixed up about everything. Folks trying to stop us. They've always tried to run my life.
Oh, good morning, Liz.
Good morning, Mr. Kramer. Good morning, Mrs. Kramer.
Good morning, Miss. We inquired at the desk for Peggy, but they said she wasn't in, so we asked for you. Where is she?
I don't really know, Mr. Kramer. She left the room very early this morning before I was awake. She left this note for me.
Oh. Dear Liz, I'm afraid Mother and Dad would try to stop us. So Joe and I left this morning to be married. Please break the news to the folks. Try to explain that this is something I had to do. I'm afraid they won't understand.
Someday she may have so much to regret.
They appear to be in love. They obviously are physically attracted to one another. Right now, they're radiant with excitement and a thrill of taking matters into their own hands. When this excitement of the moment settles down, what will remain? Will they be companions as well as lovers, willing and able to share the realities and responsibilities of having a home, bringing up children, and making a living? There's really no one and only for any of us until we make it so by our own choice. And when we do choose, we have to know, will this love stand the test of time? How would you answer this question for Liz and Andy, Peggy and Joe? How can you tell? Is this love?
Oh, I bet they made out just fine. For at least a year or two. Speaking of two, let's take two now. But when we come back, we'll go to a wedding. No, not Peg and Joe's. A royal wedding.